Chesterfield hoping today is the day. Boreham Wood aim to spoil the party and boost their hopes of survival. Lots of incentive for both of these teams. And such a sense of anticipation here in Derbyshire. So off we go then. Chesterfield need a point to be sure of promotion, but they could still go up with a defeat if Barnet don't beat Dorking, and we will keep you up to date with all the goings-on across the country in the National League. Some really big games today affecting both the race for the playoff places and what is a compelling relegation battle that pretty much affects every team in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, certainly at the business end, Adam, aren't we now? And let's say Chesterfield, we know they're going to clinch the title at some stage, whether it's today or the next 5-6 games, but the relegation battle anywhere in that bottom half of the table, they've been looking over the shoulders, and the playoffs as well, they're heating up as well. Lots to play for in this last few weeks of the National League. It's been a brilliant season.
So an early throw in here for Chesterfield, deep inside Boreham Wood territory. It's the recalled Jeff King who will take it, his first appearance since the heavy loss at Dorking. Played in by Jones. Cleared by Sass Davis, who's been brought back in today by Luke Garrard. No Chris Bush because of his red card in the defeat to Altrincham. Jacobs going down after the challenge by Fifield.
Yeah, clever play again from Chesterfield. A little ball around the corner there. Just a trailing leg there from Fifield, nothing too sinister.
King, who's a wonderful crosser of the ball. Sagaf. And for Shimanga to chase up against his former club. Putting on the pressure here on Horton. Goes down right on the edge of the box. Whelan providing support, but then takes it out of play. But there's just an early sign of the threat, potentially, that Boreham Wood have with Shimanga.
Yeah, I think that'll be very much the gameplay from Luke Garr's team today, playing on the counter-attack, and we spoke about these players already. Catches out Horton there, recovers well Horton, gets back. No penalty for me there, but just a little warning sign to Chesterfield.
Back at the club where he had so much success, Shimanga, 33 goals in 53 appearances, but suffered a horrific injury in what was Paul Cook's first game in charge of his second spell. You were at that game, where it was a terrible day, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was at the game at Weymouth, and listen, you don't want to see that happen to any players, and you know, I lost all colour. I felt really sick seeing that. It wasn't a particularly bad tackle, it was a mistimed one, and like I said before, it's just glad to see him back now. He's a tremendous player, great lad as well, so good to see him playing, and hopefully Chesterfield's point of view, not too much damage today.
On loan from Peterborough at the Wood, had another loan spell at Fleetwood earlier this season. Jacobs. Payne gets it clear. Payne making the 500th career league appearance of his career today. What a magnificent achievement that is. Congratulations to him. I said before the game to Danny Jameson that they're all very calm, him and the players, and said, rightly so, Kevin, how magnificent they've been as a squad throughout the season.
Yeah, I think it's about the wording from the staff, isn't it? You listen to Danny Webb's interview, it's about trying to get the job done, but if they don't, they know they've got 5 more games to try and get over the line, which I'm sure they will. Obviously, Barnet have got to win all their games as well, so they will get there, but I think they want to finish in style here at home, just to cap off an amazing season.
Dobra with the back heel. It's cleared by Billy Sass Davis. Now, they really have thrilled their way to this title, haven't they, Chesterfield? And for that reason, I'm sure would love to do it in style today, but Boreham Wood desperately need the points themselves. Dobra. Jacobs. Mandeville on the edge of the box, quickly making his way in now. and Love. But that is a front two, isn't it? Unlove and Shimanga, who, if they're both fit and firing, could cause any team at this level a lot of problems.
Yeah, I don't think there's a much better partnership, certainly at this level of football. I say Chesterfield are going to have to be on their guard today. I think they'll dominate possession, but when they lose the ball, it's important the likes of Jones and Naylor, they're sat there sweeping up any danger.
There've been a few stray balloons that have made their way onto the pitch. It was quite clear, Luke Garrard, ahead of the game, said, look, we've got our own agenda today. But he did admit it would have been a bit easier for the Wood today had Chesterfield got over the line at Halifax during the week.
Yeah, of course. I think, listen, he's under pressure, of course, with his team's form at the moment and their away record. You know, I think he'd probably take a point. Both teams would probably take a point before the game, but I say there's plenty to play for. Chesterfield want the finishing style. Boreham Wood go happy with a point, I feel, but we'll see what happens.
Ilisambi. Fifield. Sass Davis. Sagaf, and Love was on his way then, just had to hold his run to stay on side, but Sagaf couldn't get the pass away. Naylor, what a season he's had.
Yeah, he's been a top signing, hasn't he? I think Macca touched on it before the game. Didn't quite get there last year. Made some great additions which have put him in this position. Been outstanding. Runaway leaders.
Jacobs. This is Dobra. Mandeville Central quickly to his right. Still has it, Dobra. It's deflected, and a suggestion that are being used, but it won't be a penalty, it will be a corner. Stephen Copeland, the referee today. Just under 7 minutes gone. Is this the day that Chesterfield finally seal the title? Missed a match point on Wednesday at the Shea. Here's another one today. Cries of shoot from the crowds, which is exactly what Jones did do. Horton, another chance to put it in the box here. Dobra. It's Dobra again. Being patient here, Chesterfield, just looking for the opening. That's a beautiful pass. And it's blocked, and then it's wide. Well, they were so patient there, just probing for the opening, and it was such a well-weighted ball in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's good football, isn't it? Jacobs had a good start to the game. Finds himself in a bit of space here. I think Payne gets attracted towards Mandeville, opens up the space. I mean, it's a good save from Ashmore in the end. It's a good start to the game from Chesterfield. No signs of that hangover from Halifax.
Well, Jacobs, one of the players who was brought in from the EFL over the summer, along with the likes of Will Grigg and Tom Naylor. With Portsmouth last season, Jacobs has already won a league title with Paul Cook. That was League One with Wigan back in 2018. They've made such a difference, those three players, haven't they? They've just elevated the level, haven't they, at Chesterfield from last season?
I think it always does, you know, during my playing career, when players come in of a higher quality, like an Elka, for instance, it raises your game as well. So it's not just the experience to bring in the qualities, it brings the whole professionalism of the club up 15, 20, 25%. And you can see that this year, the way they played. And I think the beauty with Paul Cook, he's got two quality players in every position. And for me, that's the reason when he changes like today, the 6 players, it doesn't make him necessarily any weaker.
He's worked with a pretty small squad, though, this season. I think that's something that's not maybe said enough about Chesterfield. A lot is made about their resources, but they've used a lot fewer players than many other sides in the division. One of the fewest.
Yeah, and I think probably the most important thing to Paul Cook is the character of the player as well. I think he talks about that a lot, about the character of these players coming in.
Palmer slid in, but caught Shimanga.
Yeah, it looks like a ploy, doesn't it? Shemanga's spending a lot of time playing on Palmer. They probably see that maybe as a weakness. Obviously, no Tyrone Williams in his pace today, and it's just a clumsy tackle from Palmer, never getting there. And a yellow card very early now.
Looking for his second National League title in 3 seasons. Ash Palmer, after he went up with Stockport in 2022. But his yellow card coming with just 10 minutes on the clock. Whelan has sized this up. Harry Tyrer, the Chesterfield goalkeeper, on loan from Everton. Former Chesterfield player stood over this. Whelan to strike it, and pushed away, and just wide as Love was looking to follow that up. I think that must have moved in the air a bit.
Yeah, looks like it was a bit of a knuckleball, wasn't it? Straight run up, a little deflection, I think it was as well. So Tyra does well, just doesn't quite fall to Love, who's following up as well.
Agbon to Homer and Fifield and Ilisami and Sass Davis all up from the back. They're a big physical side, aren't they? Boreham Wood. Can they make the most of this? It's a ball that hung in the air, rather. Chesterfield get the free kick.
Yeah, he's got good delivery, Tom Whelan. So the free kick, set pieces, he'll be a real danger, and coming here with a point to prove as well.
You've played here, Kevin. You've won promotion with Chesterfield in '95. You famously reached the FA Cup semi-finals in '97. You're well placed to tell us what this would mean to the people of Chesterfield today if they can do it.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think they've been through with the ownership and change of ownership and the trust coming in, and obviously now got the Kirk brothers investing and majority owners. But it's just a brilliant... I mean, I got released from Sheffield United. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, coming to this club to learn my apprenticeship, working under great people, managers, players. But just the town itself is a brilliant place. I love going back there. Great friends, and it's a brilliant football club.
Mandeville with the cross and quickly stooped. Mandeville. Jones. Naylor. King. Kevin and I were talking off-air before the game, and you were telling me that when you were at Chesterfield, shows you how times have changed, you trained on the local park, didn't you? Yeah,
we did. Certainly had responsibilities of cleaning up the dog poo and getting us ready for training, but it's all part of the experience. But yeah, again, no one complained, that's just the way it was back then. And look at the stadium now, the training ground, they're all geared up for getting back to the EFL and possibly beyond.
So a goal at the Hive. Nicky Kabamba has given Barnet the lead against Dorking. Remember, if Barnet don't beat Dorking today, Chesterfield would win the title regardless of what happens here in Derbyshire. But the Bees are doing the business so far. What a good season Kabamba has had as well, and will no doubt have a big part to play in the Bees' push for promotion via the playoffs. Grimes with the header. Sent forward by Fifield, up to Shemanga. Ball. Started the day just above the relegation zone, Boreham Wood.
Yeah, I saw some of the highlights from their game last week, and they played really well, created good chances, and I think it was Ethan Ross in goal for Altio, had an amazing game, and then they had the sending off, which has just gone against them. The form's not great. Look at the last 6 games, but they're playing pretty well.
Payne with the throw-in. Distance on it, headed clear by Quigley. Dobra. Mentioned it's just a point that the Spireites need today, and they haven't lost at home since the 7th of April last year when York beat them 3-1. That's 28 home games unbeaten, and that includes visits from league clubs in the FA Cup as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you can kind of look at the cup runs they've had in the last 2 or 3 years. They've beaten teams from League 1, League 2, taking West Brom close, and just gives you a gauge of the quality of this squad and the players that Paul Cook has at his dispense. But they want to get the job done. game's just starting to settle down a bit now, nearly 15 minutes in, but Boreham Wood look a threat still.
Whelan looking for Shamanga. Grimes got it clear.
I think being there as a player as well myself in these games towards the end of the season when it's a point, you know, it's not the 3 points. Sometimes you go for the win, you sit back, and I think the further this game goes on, if it stays like this, it'll be interesting to see if both teams go for it or they're both content to go for that point.
Garrett was saying that Boreham Wood need to play at their maximum, and right there, look at it today.
Yeah, I think with that home form record you just mentioned, Boreham Would have been delighted with a point here, but as you say, different circumstances need the points.
Grimes with the header. Davis looking to guide it back and thumped into touch by Ashmore. Well, the league's bottom club, Oxford City, have opened the scoring away against Fired. Oxford City look doomed to relegation. But their club's top scorer, Josh Parker, has got his 13th of the season in all competitions. Also scored in the reverse fixture against Fylde. Jones. Nudged there by Sas Davis, enough force in there for the referee to give the free kick here to the Spireites.
Yeah, it's a big afternoon for Quigley, isn't it? Obviously, Will Griggs had a tremendous season and not to play as many games as he has done in the past, but he could be the man today. Good player. Up
against a former club as well, isn't he? Quigley, formerly off Boreham Wood, had a loan spell there from Bournemouth back in the 2017-18 season. In fact, he came on actually as a sub in the playoff final defeat to Tranmere back in 2018. But it's Mandeville who's pacing this out. Helped on by Whelan. King. Right there, and the goalkeeper had to come out quickly. Well, the Boreham Wood player's not happy about the challenge on Ashmore. It's Dobra who went in with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hopeful ball, really, and Dobra just picks his pocket here, and I don't think he's always second favourite there, Dobra. Just leaves a little bit on Ashmore there. May pick up a yellow for that. Agbontonma just gets caught watching the ball there. See what the referee does. I think Ashmore's going to be fine.
Dobra is fine. He can walk off. Shame that he didn't sleep well for 2 or 3 weeks after last season's promotion final defeat. They've got the chance today, Chesterfield, I guess, to finally put all that right. But I wonder, Kevin, what do you think Luke Garrard would be saying in that little time-out that they've managed to get there?
Yeah, I think he'd be quite happy the way it's going. They looked a threat. They've had 2 or 3 opportunities on the break, so be happy with the start his team's been made. So, like I said, it's a really difficult place to come, especially today with everything that's riding on it. They'll be pleased so far. I think he'd have wanted the first 15, 20 minutes to try and keep the crowd down. I think he knows their first goal today could be crucial. If Chesterfield get the goal, this crowd gets behind them, it's going to be a tough afternoon for them. But if they get it, it could be the party poopers.
History, to a degree, could repeat itself here. Wrexham sealed last season's title at home against Boreham Wood. The Wood scored inside the first minute of that game through Unlove. Elliot Lee got the equaliser, and then a couple from Mullin sealed it.
I think as players as well, you don't really want to come here and see them partying and celebrating. That's the other aspect of it as well.
Alex Newby has got a goal for Altrincham, who are chasing the end of season playoffs, right into that bottom corner. I've loved watching Alty this season. I think they play a really good brand of football.
Yeah, they've been exciting, haven't they? Really enjoyed them as well, and that was a big game this afternoon.
It's 7th against 8th that. Kevin, quite right to say what an important game that is in terms of the race for the playoff places. Gateshead as well play great football. Palmer has stayed down here.
It's been a good battle, this one, hasn't it, already? Just 20 minutes in. Palmer's always favourite to get on this ball, just use his body there, Tshimanga, just to ease him out of the way. He's the key player, I think. If you can get him playing on the shoulder of Palmer, particularly now he's been booked as well, and get some joy.
Sagaf competing for it with Jacobs. Lovely little touch there by Grimes. Horton. Just lacking their usual rhythm and fluidity at the moment. Chesterfield, plenty of time to get it going. Quickly to Mandeville, and Fifield intervened.
Yeah, defended well, haven't they? They've got a good shape about them, Boreham Wood. 5 at the back there. Proving hard to penetrate at the moment.
Got themselves a free kick here for a foul on Unlove. I'd have to say Chesterfield's form of late has been as up and down as it's been all season. Their last 9 games have seen them lose 3 times. That's as many defeats as they'd suffered across their first 31 games of the season. But it is a long campaign. As I mentioned earlier, it's been a fairly small squad that he's worked with deliberately, I would think. So I guess it is you are gonna feel it in the legs.
Yeah, of course, and like I say, particularly Halifax with the pitch, he won't use that as an excuse. It's safe for both teams, so they have to get on with it. That's what they're down to, business and management skills, and his staff around him. They'll just be trying to keep the calm around the place and get the job done.
So we'll see another long throw-in coming from Payne. In fact, he goes short to Ilisambi. Cross blocked by King. Fifield. Sagaf. Couldn't reach Ilisambi with that. It's back with Harry Tyra. Barnet have doubled their lead. I mentioned to you earlier that one way Chesterfield could confirm the title today is if Barnet fail to beat Dorking, but they are so far getting the job done. Bit of a calamity at the back there for Dorking. You know, one of the sides who started today in the relegation zone. A side who beat Chesterfield 4-1 a few weeks ago, remarkably. They were brilliant that day, Dorking.
Yeah, again, Chesterfield won't be expecting favours from anywhere. Got to take care of business themselves.
Jacobs. And it came to Dobra, and then Mandeville, and cleared by Payne. Tshimanga. Sagaf. Ilisambi. Ilisambi with a useful-looking cross, but dealt with by Grimes. Jacobs. Palmer. King. It's just worth reminding ourselves, we've mentioned the race for the playoff positions. If we just have a look here quickly at the top 9, we'll see how tight it is in the race for the playoff places. And a former Premier League club there in Oldham, far from guaranteed to be involved in the playoffs. They played a game more than Halifax, who are just inside there. Altrincham and Gateshead meeting today. Alty a goal up in that game through Newby's goal, but as well, a lot of these sides desperate to finish second or third, because then you get automatic passage to the semi-finals.
Yeah, crucial, isn't it? It does really help. Plenty to play for. If you can get in that second and third slots, then give yourself a better chance, get a bit more rest in and use that home advantage.
Jacobs with a chance to cross, and quickly was waiting in the middle. Well taken in by Ashmore.
Yeah, good play once again. Just a little bit disappointing, that ball there from Jacobs. Just needs to pull that one back towards the 6-yard box.
Boreham Wood have lost their last 3 games in a row, the first time that's happened since December of 2022, but they've given a good account of themselves so far today, Luke Garrard's team.
Yeah, I must say I was a little bit surprised when I checked the table leading up to this game that they were down there in a spot of bother, and he's going to have to use all his experience in, I say, notice level inside out to get him out of the trouble.
Sent into the box by Ashmore. Comes to Fifields and blocked by Grimes. Ashmore playing sweeper-keeper. Jacobs. Jones. Quigley. Mandeville in the box, Jacobs in there too. Still Quigley. It'll be a corner.
That's much better from Quigley. It's been quiet so far in this game. We just need him to stretch that back 3, back 5 with Boreham Wood, just to allow those spaces to appear for those players like Jacobs and Naylor and Jones, Dobra and Mandeville to pick up the spaces, and he really needs to stretch this back 5 of Boreham Wood. Yeah, good block from Sass Davies.
In comes the corner, and in he goes! It's the captain! On Chesterfield's big day, a man who's led by example right throughout the season. Jamie Grimes breaks the deadlock, and look at that big smile. Says it all, doesn't it? It's another step towards the title.
Well, this could be a huge goal for Chesterfield and those fans, everyone at the club. Just felt the first goal was going to be massive in this game. Another brilliant ball from Mandeville. And there he is, free. No one near him, simple header, 4 yards out, goalkeeper, no chance. Doesn't come much easier than that. It's poor defending from Boreham Wood, but easy task for Grimes. He's had a fantastic season, a great leader of this team.
A goal that will mean a lot to him. His first since August. No outfield player has played more minutes this season for Chesterfield in the National League than that man. Almost apt, isn't it, Kevin, that he scores the opening goal on this big day?
Yeah, it's such a huge goal. It just settled everyone down. You can feel the crowd just a little bit edgy and a bit nervous about the whole occasion, and we've got plenty of games to see this out, but that could be huge for the club. Let's see how Boreham would respond.
Certainly won't take anything for granted, though. 4 of Chesterfield's 6 league defeats this season have all come when they scored first, but they've never lost at home this season. All those losses have been away from home. And what a noise met that goal from Grimes as well. A very popular goal scorer.
Yeah, you should just settle the players down, because, like I said, you're in that position yourself, you're desperate to get over the line, but that adds a little bit of tension to your play, and I just thought the first goal would settle the players down. So let's see if anything go on and add to that and make life really difficult for Boreham Wood, who are fragile themselves.
You think Boreham Wood had the best defensive record in the National League last season. It's been such a massive drop-off in that respect for them. Only kept one clean sheet in their last 16 National League away games. And they've already conceded now 23 goals more than they did in the whole of last season. Astonishing, them.
Yeah, the numbers are, it's just by the points tally, isn't it, where they are compared to last season, about 20 points off, aren't they, overall? So it's been a struggle, I think, particularly at home. They've drawn so many games, 8 draws, I think, so, there's a lot of points they could have made up, which would have seen them, towards mid-table. So they are where they are. They're going to have to dig in as a club, and Luke and his team and staff, everyone are going to be crucial between now and the end of the season if they're to stay in this league.
So there is the state of play at the top of the National League. Just a point required for Chesterfield today there, on their way to all 3 as it stands. Ina Sammy looking to make progress. And gets the free kick.
Yeah, this is going to be crucial, I think, set pieces for Boreham Wood as well. They've got the high physicality, the delivery from Whelan's always good. It's an area where Chesterfield are really going to have to concentrate on.
Whelan, a former Spireite, will take this. Payne trying to get some sort of message across to him, the captain. There's Whelan's delivery. Big day in the National League, isn't it? You can see all the goals from the games in our highlights show. That tonight from 11 o'clock on TNT Sports 2. And the fight for second and third in the National League, an automatic passage to the semi-finals, is really heating up. Our next game is between 2 of the sides who are competing for that. Solihull against Barnet on Good Friday. Ahead of that, we've got Worthing against Bath City as well from National League South tomorrow. That's on 3. Mandeville. Shimanga's chasing. Out came Tyra. It was a good use of the head, wasn't it? Grimes with the header. Jones. Sass Davis put under pressure by Quigley.
Yeah, again, good play from Quigley, his second favourite there, but those hard runs, those hard yards, he earned the corner leading up to the goal, and so get your team up the pitch and give everyone a lift. It's got to be done.
Jacobs, you can remember Quigley scoring so many important late goals, particularly in the early weeks and months of the season. Just off the top of the head, I can think of 5 in the final 10 minutes of games, all in added time. Late winners against the likes of Halifax and Aldershot and Dorking. He certainly played his part. Callum Stead has added a 3rd for Barnet, who are really enjoying their day at the Hive. So important to go into the playoffs, as they will do, in good form. He did well there, didn't he, to improvise?
Yeah, he did. It was a brilliant ball through, wasn't it? And he thought he'd lost his chance, but tidy little finish in the end. But like I say, if Chesterfield do go up as you expect them, those playoffs, they're going to be something else. The team's in there, the form they're in. It's so hard to predict who will come out of that on top.
Do you know what, Kevin? I think in my own mind, I must have changed my mind 3 or 4 times as to who I think will win those playoffs. Very hard to predict. You think how close Boreham Wood were to reaching the final last season. Seconds away, weren't they, at Meadow Lane against Notts County. That late equaliser by Baldwin, and then Jody Jones with the winner for Notts in extra time, right at the end of extra time as well. I think the last 2 seasons of the National League playoffs have been absolutely epic, haven't they?
Yeah, such drama, isn't it? The playoffs just bring so much tension and uncertainty. Form goes out the window. It's brilliant as a viewer, but as a player, they're terrible. It is the best way to get promoted, though. That's the cherry at the top, and we know how hard this league is to get out of.
Shimanga with Unlove waiting in the middle, but he's badly over. Hit the cross. We've mentioned a few times now how this is a significant day, not just for the Spireites, for Boreham Wood as well. And we just have a look here at the bottom of the table, we'll see why it is so significant for them. They're only outside the bottom four on goal difference right now, but just look at how tight that is. You think that there's been a bit of a bounce of late, Kevin, hasn't there, for clubs like Fylde and Ebbsfleet, who I thought looked doomed at once. Kidderminster as well have recovered to a degree and picked up some points since Phil Brown went in there.
Yeah, it's tough, and listen, you can't really focus too much on the opposition and teams in and around you. You've got to take care of your own job, your own business, your own preparation, everything leading into games, and every point's going to be crucial. And they've got a tough run in. They've got Dagenham and Redbridge, Southend, Wealdstone, Rochdale away, Aldershot away, and then Ebbsfleet at home. So teams in form as well. He knows it's not going to be easy, but the importance of the staff, the players, everything around training has to be, you know, positive, even after, you know, bad results or poor performances. They've got to find some points from somewhere. They're in poor form at the moment.
I watched his interview with the club TV channel, Luke Garrard, ahead of this, and the one thing he repeated a few times was the need for them to stick together as a group. He said resilience will be really important, not just in this game, but between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, and I think if you look at overall what they've done in this league, he's done well, hasn't he, overall? You know, said he's the underdogs mainly since they've got promoted to this level. But it's something he won't be enjoying. But it's important that now he's and his staff, I can't say enough how crucial they are. It drives everything, the training, the preparation. It's difficult, and if they drop into that bottom four as well, that's tough for players to deal with.
Naylor. That goal scored by Grimes, the captain, by the way, Chesterfield's 98th of the season, just in the National League. Already well over 100 goals in all competitions. They did that by February. Really have fired their way to the title.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting listening to Will Grigg, wasn't it, who's contributed to around a quarter of those goals. It's the players in and around, the quality. He must have really enjoyed playing with those players, the service that he's been provided with.
The one thing that has led to a bit of debate recently is the number of goals that they concede, as Unlove here look for Whelan. And maybe it's with a view on next season for Chesterfield that people mention the number of goals, because 12 sides in the National League have conceded fewer goals than the runaway leaders, which is an astonishing statistic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is crazy the amount of goals they conceded, but that's Paul Cook, you know, he wants to play an exciting brand of football, you know, centre-halves stepping in with the ball. If they lose it, they find themselves in trouble sometimes on the break. But listen, he'll be delighted for everything he's got from the players so far. He'll already have players in mind for next year, a style of play. He's an experienced manager.
Well, one thing I would say, though, is that, of course, he's won that division twice, and on one of those occasions he had the best defensive record in the league, and the other the second best. So he can set up a team to defend as well.
He can, and I think he's gone on the front foot this season, hasn't he? And entertained, and they've been an absolute joy to watch throughout the season.
Been a really big goal in the game between York and Bromley. Bromley chasing the playoffs, York fighting to avoid the drop, and now the side in a relegation battle. York have taken the lead at Hayes Lane, and that means now that Boreham Wood actually drop into the relegation zone on goal difference. Dobra unable to get the cross in, but does win the corner. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we got to the final day of the regular season with potentially even, what, 6-7 teams who could still go down.
Yeah, it's extremely tight, isn't it, other than Oxford? Do you think we're going to go, like I said, in the build-up to this game, anyone in that bottom half will be looking over their shoulders and just trying to get enough points to get them 6, 7, 8 points away from it with 2 or 3 games to go. It's a lot of pressure playing at that end of the table. It's not nice for a player at all, really.
Jacobs with the ball in. It's a good delivery, but well dealt with. So let's just confirm what I was just saying about Boreham Wood dropping into the bottom four as a result of York going in front at Hayes Lane against playoff chasing Bromley. So they are, as it stands, a point behind. Maidenhead, York move up to 19th. But I would say that still, any side in the bottom half of the National League is theoretically still in a relegation battle right now. I'd say that maybe Southend, everyone below Southend, I would say, still got things to worry about, including a side like Hartlepool, who were in League Two last season.
Yeah, I agree totally. See form can change so quickly, likes of Ebbsfleet, who've just shot up the league and got a bit of confidence. And when you go in the other way like Boreham Wood at the moment, if they lose this one, that'll be 4 defeats in a row. And if they stay in that bottom four, that journey home will be long, and there'll be lots of doubts creeping in, and it's a difficult place to be.
Up towards Shimanga, but Palmer with the header back. We've got the Women's Clasico in Spain coming up tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Real Madrid against Barcelona. You can catch that on TNT Sports 2. If you've never seen Barcelona women's side in action, well worth watching them. And Chelsea look to complete the job against Ajax. Second leg of that quarter-final in the Women's Champions League coming up during the week. King. Dobra. Looking for the room for the ball in. Well held on to by Ashmore.
Yeah, seems to be getting a lot of joy down this right-hand side, Chesterfield, and see Dobra just jinking away, gets his shot away. It's going to be hard to score from that distance. Comfortable save from Ashmore. We're just looking, what, 41, 42 minutes in. Look at this Boreham Wood team and the wing-backs, Cox and Ilisanmi. They haven't really managed to get forward and threaten, and I think in the second half, they're going to have to be a bit more adventurous, I think.
Well, this game a sellout for home supporters. They've turned out in their droves all season, the Chesterfield supporters, including on their travels. 9,907 inside today, hoping to witness a special occasion. There was around about 2,500 at the Shea, wasn't there, during the week?
Yeah, they've always been well supported, haven't they? Home and away, brilliant set of fans, and like you say, they've been through it. They've seen that double relegation, dropping out of the league for the first time. It's been a really tough place for the fans to come, and like I say, it's only 2 or 3 years ago they were sitting near the bottom of this league as well, so a massive turnaround, and it's a little bit early yet to be celebrating, but there's been a lot of hard work go on behind the scenes with Mike Goodwin and the directors and the staff and everyone, so they deserve to be here with this opportunity.
I live in the East Midlands area, and I took my car to be serviced in a garage in Nottinghamshire during the week, where there was a Chesterfield mechanic, and they're hoping that they get to meet Mansfield for that derby again next season. But the Stags look like they might go up as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Quigley. Jacobs in support. Cleared by Agbonta-Homa. Shimanga. Sagaf. Whelan's made a break from midfield, been trapped by Naylor. Players arriving in the edge of the box here for the Woods. And the goal kick is given. Whelan was expecting a corner.
Yeah, it's a really likes to make, isn't it? Again, not seen enough of him, but he needs to be the one that's try and run beyond the two strikers. And I think they'll be largely frustrated. Shimanga and Love we've seen very little of. So not much support to them. First 5 or 10 minutes looked quite bright, but since then, fizzled out of the game.
The final minute of normal time at the end of this first half.
Yeah, I think what Luke Garrard does have, he has quite an attacking bench, doesn't he? So you'd be expected to see likes of Sousa and Balanta, maybe March introduced. So they have to go for it in the second half.
So Mandeville to take the free kick as we move into added time at the end of the half. Let's see what the plan is here as Grimes makes his way in. So a minimum of 2 minutes added time at the end of the half. What have you made of it so far, Kevin?
Yeah, I think it's been a decent game, hasn't it? I think Chesterfield have dominated possession. Neither team really carving out too many clear-cut chances. It's been a fairly even game, you'd have to say. I say there's a lot of pressure, a lot at stake for different reasons for both clubs, so you can understand the tension within both teams for different reasons.
Davis holding quickly there. I think his suggestion was that it was 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, he likes to get really tight, doesn't he, Sass Davis? You can see they've both got hold of each other there. It's a good old-fashioned ding-dong between them, isn't it?
You've had a few of those.
Yeah, I miss it.
I was going to say, do you miss it?
You can't be playing in these big games, Adam. That's what you thrive on, really. And I'm sure that, you know, the adrenaline leading up to this game and walking out knowing what's at stake, it's an amazing feeling. And if you can get over the line, you can certainly enjoy tonight and the rest of the season.
Palmer with the header, almost found Grimes. Ilisami. Who's your favourite centre-half you came up against for a battle?
Probably John Terry, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, it was just fair. We had a beer after together, regardless how much we kicked each other. But yeah, I enjoyed playing against John. Good, honest battle.
And love with the effort. They played reasonably well in this first half. Boreham Wood have contained Chesterfield for the most part, but they have lacked threat, haven't they, really?
Yeah, I was just saying that before. We saw Unlove there for the first time, getting the shot away. They've just... It's almost like they've come for the draw, bodies behind the box, but now they're 1-0 down. He's going to have to change things at half-time.
Well, Chesterfield are halfway there. Chesterfield have not won a promotion on their own ground since Easter Monday 1936, when Hartlepool were beaten 2-0 at the old Saltergate to clinch promotion from Division 3 North. Can they complete their promotion push here today, the Spireites, after a quite amazing season? Here's Dobra, looking to make a fast start, and they do! Mandeville with the second! Inside 30 seconds of the restart. They're well on their way now. A 2-goal cushion for Paul Cook's side, who took the game to the wood at the start of this second half, and it's paid off big time.
Well, that's a perfect start for the home team. Really delighted for Mandeville as well. See Dobra just drifting into a good area here, and it's a really good ball. Payne's tracking him but can't get there. It's a really good pullback and a simple finish for Liam Mandeville. What a season he's had. A massive part of this team on and off the field, and that will really settle the nerves now. The party's just about beginning to start.
Set up the first, he scored the second, and they'll be lifting, you would think, the real trophy in about an hour's time, unless something truly incredible happens here. But you're quite right, Kevin, to point out what a season Mandeville has had. That's now 19 assists he's got in all competitions, and that was his 7th league goal of the season. And of course, he's been here as long, one of the longest, isn't he? Longest serving here at the moment. Joined the club in the summer of 2019.
Yeah, and you'll have seen that, you know, he's been around when it's not been so good at that football club, and I said before, he deserves it. He deserves the promotion. He deserves to get that feeling of promotion to the whole hard work he's put in. He's a really good teammate. He's a big character. He's versatile. He's been playing it right back as well, filling in there, doing a job for the team. He's a real good team player. Cookie will be delighted to have him in his squad. Really infectious character as well.
And Love is in behind, but couldn't keep it down. Set up well by Shimanga, and that's a good chance to get one back.
Yeah, lively start to the second half. It's Naylor there. Little flick from Shimanga. He takes it early. Just needs to try and keep that one down. Good side set for Love. Disappointed with the finish.
His side caught cold, really, at the start of the second half.
Yeah, worst possible start for him now. I'd say I'm surprised he didn't make a couple of substitutions just to freshen the team up and give him a bit of impetus, particularly going forward. They've looked pretty good in terms of the shape and the organisation of the team.
Homer just getting back to his feet as the rain comes down in this part of Derbyshire. The header by Grimes, who got the first. They've averaged just under 3 goals per game at home in the league this season, Chesterfield. Boreham Wood have conceded on average 2 goals per game away from home. And Love. And Palmer is back. Ilisami with the cross, Naylor with the header clear. You get the feeling the party is already starting in the stands. If they do see this through, Chesterfield, it'll be quite a night in this town.
It was a cheeky little night out, Chesterfield, as well, so they will enjoy it tonight. Like I said, they'll celebrate together. It's the moments that you live for in football, really. And this is, Adam, you know more than anyone, this is such a tough league to get out of, and it's been a struggle for them, and any clubs dropping into this league so hard with the promotion. We know what it is. Maybe it will change in the future. It's difficult to bounce back. No team's ever done it. Some big football clubs found themselves at this level for a number of years. It's not easy to get back to that EFL. But this club's set up for it from top to bottom now.
It's 10 months and 10 days since they lost the promotion final to Notts County in such dramatic circumstances. And so many teams over the years we've seen really drop off the season after a disappointment like that. Boreham Wood, actually, well, this is the second time I can think of that's happened to them, where having gone so far in the playoffs, come so close, they've struggled to replicate it the following season. Whelan, brought down by Naylor. So Whelan to take the free kick. And towards Agbon to Homer, headed clear. The King, Whelan. Dobra trying to win it back. And now they do have it back, Chesterfield, and they seek to counter. Horton makes the run down the left. Dobra's been able to bring it a long way, trapped by Agbon to Homer. Chesterfield well on their way to what would be their 30th league win of the season. On a day where they just need a point. Naylor. Lovely ball from Mandeville. King. Jones. Mandeville. Chesterfield looking in the mood. Mandeville was urged to shoot by the crowd, but decided better of it. Grimes. Horton. Up towards Quigley it went. Sas Davis came across. Quigley still has it. Dobra's an option in the box. Behind for a corner.
Good perseverance and strength from Quigley there. Look at this point, Sas Davis' favourite. Gets away from him. He's having a little look up here. There's a late run there. I think it's Dobra getting into the box. Couldn't quite pick him out. He's done that well in 2 or 3 occasions. Just getting Chesterfield up the pitch. Quigley.
Palmer's up from the back. Quigley in the 6-yard box. Played short by Mandeville. King. Another corner, second in quick succession, off Whelan that time. There's the signal from Mandeville, who's already scored one and made one. And Grimes is arriving, just beaten to it. Horton. Jones plays a really important role in the side, Jones. King. Grimes has stayed full. King had a go.
Well, we've seen him score some spectacular goals over the last 2 or 3 seasons. It's a wonderful strike. It's only just a half a yard wide, that one. Ashmore's rooted watching that one. Lucky there from King.
Well, somebody who's made a big contribution for Chesterfield this season is Ryan Colclough, injured today, but is talking to Danny Jameson.
Ryan, obviously disappointed to be out today, but 2-0 up, can the party start?
Well, not just yet, no, but I think everything's going to plan so far, and hopefully we can keep the pressure on them.
I saw you go in at half-time, listening to what Paul Cook said to the players. What did he say that ended up with a goal 30 seconds into the second half?
To stay on his good habits and stick to the game plan. Like we said, it's still a awful football to go, and I think they've come out and they've done just that.
I know you're out with that ankle injury. I know Easter's not till next weekend, but might we see a miraculous recovery? Should there be a pitch invasion to celebrate later?
Well, hopefully, yeah. If we can get the job done today, I'll definitely be on that pitch. And yeah, I'm gutted I'm not involved today, but this group of lads here, they really put the effort in all season, and they thoroughly deserve it.
Appreciate your time, Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you to Danny and to Ryan. Good to hear from Ryan Colclough, who won a league title, League One with Paul Cook back in 2018. They're going to win another title together, it would seem, and he's just one of so many forward attacking players who've made big contributions.
Yeah, good player, very exciting, very aggressive when he gets 1v1. It's been a good signing for them. I think it's another player, you know, Paul Cook's worked with, he trusts. We spoke about Cookie and his, you know, recruitment method. He brings players in that he can rely on. Those are good lads in the dressing room. And they've all stuck together, worked hard, as Brian was saying there, to get to this point.
He's one of those on a recently extended his contract till 2025 as well, Colclough. It's worked to tie down a lot of his current squad, 2 new deals. Paul Cook, as the planning is well underway already for next season. I'm sure he'll have his eye on some potential new additions as well. But you'd think that they would at the very least hold their own in League Two.
I certainly do. I think, you know, he's very experienced at that level and the one above, so preparations will be on the way. should they get over the line, which we expect them to. And I expect them to be in and around the playoffs, if not the automatics. I think they can go again. They've got a lot of quality players. Like I said, they've signed new contracts, lots of EFL experience. So they'll be planning to go again. They won't be just content with one promotion and staying in League Two for a few years.
Whelan. Well, because the Wood get one back. Remember, they have, as a result of that goal for York at Bromley that I told you about in the first half, as far as I know, York's still in front at Hayes Lane. Means Boreham Wood inside the relegation zone as it stands. Fifield, slipped by Sagaf, and now comes the counter, led by Quigley. Options left and right. It's just behind Dobra, but it's taken on by Horton. Quigley waits in the box, it's still Horton. Came out to Naylor. Mandeville. King. Well, Kevin, somebody I know who's been at Chesterfield since you were at the club, somebody that you'll know well is John Crute, the CEO. What a big day this is for him and so many other people who've worked so hard behind the scenes to make this happen for the Spireites.
Yeah, it's good to see John there. Still be a little bit nervous inside, just, you know, he's been there, seen it, done it. He was around, obviously, when I played back in the 90s and very much part of the furniture at this football club, and they've worked extremely hard. In this new ownership, the last 4 years, they've been planning for this moment. And I'm sure at the end we'll see a big smile on his face, along with everybody else, the directors and everyone that's worked hard. Andy Thantom there, who controls the purse strings. You know, a lot of stress dropping into the National League. But they'll be absolutely delighted from what they've seen so far this season. They've been outstanding.
It's worth saying to people as well who maybe don't know, are casual observers of this level, that Chesterfield have been in the end-of-season playoffs for the last 3 seasons in a row as well. Lost in the final last season on penalties. So they've had near misses, but nothing has been left to chance this time, has it?
No, it's like you said, Ryan was saying there, great bunch of players. That's what you need. You need the dressing room spot on. You need leaders in there. You need a bit of youth. And I think looking at the balance of this team, they've got a little bit of everything.
They've now got, they're looking now, their next goal would be their 100th in the National League this season. It's been all-out attack policy from Paul Cook this season. It's paid off. Thrilled and fired their way to this league championship.
Yeah, he's got big characters. You look at Danny Webb there, Kieran Dowry, Gary Roberts. You know, can you imagine it's a hard-working place every day. The standards are set by some of those senior pros, as we've heard before, but they know how to enjoy it as well, the cookie. Still a little bit surprised that Luke's not made those changes. I'd say they've really started to fizzle out now. There's an attack in front. He needs to get a couple of players on, I think, just to give them a lift now. Yeah, there's Mike Goodwin as well. You know, made some big decisions since he's come in 4 years ago. I think the biggest one was getting Paul Cook in as manager.
Appointed by Chesterfield, of course, for a second time. He was the last manager to deliver a league title here. Back in 2014, the League Two title that was. That probably would have been a real sadness for him, that having got them promoted to League One, of course, he eventually moved on, and all that good work fell away, didn't it, as you said, with the double relegation?
Yeah, of course, it wasn't long ago. Listen, I played them for Preston, I think it was 8 years ago now, in the playoffs in League One, so they were a couple of games away from the Championship. So it's been a difficult journey for them. We know the troubles they've had off the field with ownership and the relegations, but that's all behind them now. It's a club on the front, on the up.
Horton, just over an hour gone. Naylor. King. Jones. This is Naylor. Horton. Jones. Quigley, good movement here by Horton. Horton's cross is good, but well read.
Yeah, good defending there from Payne. Track the runners, going to a good position, prevented that from becoming 3-0. So Boreham Wood getting deeper and deeper now. Chesterfield just controlling the tempo and the play, managing the game well.
Long this time from Tyra. Of course, Kevin, at any level of the game, you need investment as well to make things like this happen. And of course, Phil and Ashley Kirk have provided a lot of finances, and that really does need to be mentioned as well today.
Yeah, and the Chesterfield born and bred as well. I think that counts for something, and you know, happy to invest some money, bring their expertise from a business side of things, and I say they're probably enjoying this moment now. And I think the club's on a good front going forward with them behind the scenes as well.
Tyrone Marsh comes on here for Unlove. It's been a little out of favour of late, Tyrone Marsh, somebody who's so often been so important for Boreham Wood. This is his 7th sub-appearance in 8 matches, hasn't started since the 10th of February. Somebody who has been where Chesterfield are going today and won this league title. That was with Macclesfield back in 2018. It's been quite flat, though, from Boreham Wood, hasn't it, in this second half?
It has, and you can understand that with the timing of that second goal. It knocks the winds out of your sails a little bit, and I say they've not really been able to get a foothold in the game as such. But you can see just 65 minutes play why Chesterfield haven't lost here all season, and you know, they're a proper outfit.
Some massive weeks and games ahead of Luke Garrard and Boreham Wood. They're at home against Dagenham and Redbridge next. They then go away to Southend, and then when you look at the clubs in and around the relegation zone, then a huge game as well with they've got Wealdstone doing well. There's Maidenhead are down there as well, aren't they? So it's going to be it's so fascinating, the end of the season.
Yeah, it would just be, I think before the game he'd have snatched your hand off if you offered him a point, and you just don't want this to go 3-4, 5-0, the damage that could potentially cause to this set of players moving into those final games of the season.
Well, Dobra's saying, how much more evidence do you need?
Yeah, swap shirts after the game, don't you? But Sass Davies, he does like to get tight, gets away with a booking there. Should be wearing Under Armour at the end of March anyway.
It's a new look. A yellow card then for Sass Davies. We know the quality of the delivery Mandeville is capable of. Just kept in by a determined Dobra, who looks to hit the byline. They're queuing up in the middle. Oh, it's in! It's another one! And Chesterfield are once again thrilling their way to another victory. They're thrilling their way to the league title. Outstanding all season. 3-0 up now. A second half, and the skipper's having the day of his life out there.
Yeah, sheer determination, wasn't it, for Dobra to keep that ball in. 1v1, he paid, he fancies his chances, and yeah, there's Grimes. He's on a hat-trick. Who'd have thought that before the game? This just sums Chesterfield up this season, I think, really. Determination, application, desire. He'd be disappointed not to get the goal, really, Dobra. I think it was going in, but there's Grimes again. Not sure quite what he's doing up there still, but we'll take it.
Chesterfield's 100th league goal of the season. He still won't be satisfied, though, will he?
No, they've been professional. You listen to the interviews. It's all about getting the job done. If they don't get it done today, they'll go to the next one. And they've earned the right, because of the way they've performed all season. They've earned the right to have a little bit of comfort, a little bit of cushion. It's been a real difficult afternoon for Boreham Wood, and it has been for a lot of teams coming here. Really difficult place to come.
What a contribution there from Dobra, of course scored in last season's promotion final defeat against Notts County. He thought he got the winner, didn't he, until that late free kick squirmed underneath Fitzsimmons. All seems so long ago now. It was, to be precise, 10 months and 10 days ago. I don't think even the most ardent of Chesterfield fan, Kevin, could have predicted that just 10 months later that they would be winning the league title. It's an astonishing recovery, isn't it, really?
It is, and it's always difficult losing in those circumstances. The effort you put in throughout the season, the losses, the wins, the draws, the heartache, and they're tough to bounce back from those losses. But they've come in. I think that's credit to Paul Cook and his staff, and the directors who backed him with the new additions. They've done it in the right way.
Dobra, lovely feet. Felt he'd earned the chance to have a go at goal himself.
Yeah, it looks just to cut in, doesn't it? Gets into these positions. You don't want to get too tight to him. He's such a clever player, quick feet. Just can't quite shake that round wheeling.
Now they're home and hose now, aren't they? Barnet doing the business at the Hive, but it's all irrelevant. And Chesterfield only needed a point, and they're cruising to all three, and the party is well underway. This place is literally bouncing. What a contrast to, of course, that promotion final that I was at last season at Wembley. Be hard to begrudge Notts County their promotion of last season, but how Chesterfield have responded.
It's such a contrast. I've been here to games, in the last 3, 4, 5 years, and the atmosphere around the place was flat and down. They found themselves near the bottom of this league, and nobody quite knew which direction it was going to go in. So they've turned it, they've turned it around with a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and everyone's smiling, and he deserves a huge round of applause. Mandeville is a big favourite with these home fans.
One of the summer arrivals, James Berry, who's coming on. He's looking to win his 3rd league title in as many seasons. The previous 2 with Macclesfield, or should I call them Robbie Savage's Macclesfield. He's their player of the year last season, and has settled in well at this level of the game. But this isn't just all about Chesterfield today. There's another team involved here, and we shouldn't forget that, Boreham Wood, Kevin, and their situation is looking ever more perilous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult. Listen, you can't rely on other teams. We've mentioned that a couple of times, and if it does stay like that, there'll be a long journey home, but him and his staff, they will be crucial, in terms of the feeling around the place, the atmosphere. They've got to just keep working hard, rolling up the sleeves, not get too down on themselves. Put this one away. They wasn't expected to win this game. They're taking a point. They've got to move on quickly.
Berry. Just to remind you, you can see all the goals from today in our highlights programme tonight at 11 o'clock. Live on TNT Sports 2, plenty of goals from around the country. some really significant fixtures as well, affecting the playoff places and the relegation battle. Of course, it's non-league day today as well, and our action continues tomorrow from non-league. We're at Worthing tomorrow. National League South game, 5th against 8th, big in terms of the race for the National League South playoff places. And there's quite a fight on as well for 2nd and 3rd in the 5th tier, because that gets you automatic passage to the semi-finals of the playoffs. Two of the sides going for those 2nd and 3rd spots are Solihull and Barnet, and they meet on Good Friday, 2:30, TNT Sports 1. Oh, it's hotting up, isn't it, in the race for the playoffs and for the...
It's a great time of year, honestly. There's so much at stake, I think, for clubs, and it just gets everyone going. The excitement starts to build, the pressure builds, everything. It's the best part of the year for me.
Luke Garrard's making a change then. Charles Clayton it is who's going to come on. Billy Sass-Davis, who's on a yellow card, makes way. Clayton signed from Wealdstone in November of last year. Former Charlton player. Barely seen Shamanga in the second half.
Yeah, started the game fairly bright, didn't he? First 5 or 10 minutes, and I say Grimes, Palmer kept him quiet, Lundlove quiet, substitute off. Marsh has come on, not really been involved yet. This is the things that Luke Garrard's got to find a way, getting the best out of those players, getting the service into them. I think with those wing-backs especially, he's got to be a little bit braver, push them on 5 or 10 yards, get his players up the pitch a little bit.
So often in this game that we all love, the margins are just so slim, aren't they? And I think how close Boreham Wood were, literally seconds from the National League promotion final last season when Baldwin got that late equaliser for Notts County in that amazing game. And now they're fighting the drop as Shamanga looks for Marsh. And then I think of a club like Torquay, who several years ago were, a penalty shootout away against Hartlepool of going up, and now they're in National League South, and of course we all know the problems they're going through. Best of luck, by the way, to everyone at Torquay. I really, truly hope they can come through all those problems.
Like I say, it can be difficult dropping down, but you look at models and the way Chesterfield have built and the infrastructure and everything they've put into getting promotion. Teams have to sometimes look at that and what they've done and try and copy that to model it a little bit, and it's difficult because there's such competition. Some great clubs at this level.
So Dobra, having set up the 3rd, makes way. That must be pretty frustrating to have a goal nicked off you by a centre-half. As Banks comes on, another player who's been very reliable for this season for Paul Cook.
Yeah, I'm sure Grimes will be buying him a beer later to say sorry, or will be forgotten.
What a day this is going to be for Chesterfield fans when you consider that they've never won promotion on their own ground since 1936. I can't imagine there are too many people, if any, who were there that day who will also be here today.
It just, there's so many things that it affects, really. The promotion, the better players will be staying. There'll be 3 or 4 or 5 players that easily could play in League 2, League 1 from this squad of players, and the togetherness that man's built. Everyone wants to be a part of his team, and they've done it together. Worked hard. I think that's been the first thing for them, and then they've built the camaraderie, and they've had the momentum with them, and there've been some outstanding performances. And like I say, the quality of players that he has in every position, he's really enjoyed himself this year.
Well, Jeff King is one of a handful of Chesterfield players with contracts up at the end of the season. I just wonder, between now and the end of the campaign, you've got to keep the motivation high somehow, but I'd imagine there will be lots of players maybe some, not necessarily playing for their futures, but playing for their place in the team at the start of next season.
I think that's the worst thing for managers, really. There will be some harsh conversations to be had with players out of contract, and potentially one or two in contract. Are they good enough to play at League Two? That's the worst thing about it. That will happen after the season, I'm sure. And like I say, Paul Cook will want them to be professional all the way through. Can they keep this unbeaten home record as well?
Big goal for Solihull. Tarvon Campbell has got his 7th since joining from Rochdale on the 4th of February. Has been in great form. Scored for the 5th game running, and against his former club Aldershot, where he played on loan last season. Solihull will still feel that it's possible for them to get into 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, that's a massive goal, isn't it, in that one? And Taban, I know well, good striker, will score goals. Similar to Shimanga in the way he plays a little bit, can hold the play up, has a bit of everything, so no surprise to see him scoring.
The Spireites' maximum points tally now, by the way, is 110, which would be 1 short of Wrexham's National League record set last season. Although I don't think Chesterfield fans will mind too much that they miss out on that record.
No, there can't be too many that scored as many as them as well. They've been on the front foot all season. Pleasure to watch.
Jones, Jacobs, still hungry for goals here, Chesterfield. They certainly won't settle for 3. Berry, as now Boreham Wood look to mount a counter-attack. It's turned into a good ball, and it's Marsh who's got Shimanga waiting in the middle. Whelan arriving on the edge of the box. Well, today, so much about the fans, isn't it, at Chesterfield? Let's hear from some of them who are with Danny Jameson.
Guys, Chesterfield are 10 minutes away from a league title, Landon Louis. How are you feeling?
Well, we're feeling buzzing because we know this is the day that we win the league, so it's quite a good feeling to know that when the final whistle blows, that's it, we've won it.
And Louis, when the final whistle does go, what's the plan for the celebrations? You've got these inflatable trophies with you.
Just go mad, I think. Do anything, I'd just go mad, I would.
And look, how impressed have you been with this team this season? They've scored 100 goals already now after today. So we've got, what, 5 games left?
It's a dream, because you come to the stadium and you expect them to just play football, and the way we've been playing this season, it's just amazing. It's a dream season for us.
Look, if you could give a message to Paul Cook, what he's done for this team, what would you say to him?
I'd say he does an amazing job, and how this team's playing and all that. Like, it's good. Thank you.
Good stuff. Lads, enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
That was brilliant, wasn't it? Feeling buzzing and going mad. That's perfectly summed up, I thought, there. Love that. Jacobs. Might be after Adam Virgo's job at that rate.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're better, aren't they? That's summed up very well, as you said, Adam. And like I say, seasons like this and the way that they've performed, they'll have those fans for life now, and they do things right. We've been putting a lot of praise on Chesterfield, and rightly so, because of the effort that goes in behind, the players going into schools and the visits and all those community things. It's very much a community club, and a lot of clubs do great things. And it's nice to see those young lads enjoying themselves, and hopefully they're going to enjoy it in the EFL2 next season.
Chesterfield's unbeaten run here is certainly going to be continuing. They've never gone through a whole league campaign unbeaten at home at this level or above. And that would be another target, wouldn't it, between now and the end of the season, to keep them motivated. Ali Curtis gets 8 minutes or so here. Signed from Ipswich in July. He comes on for Joe Quigley, who's played his part this season with some really big goals at important times.
Yeah, I'm disappointed not to get on the score sheet, as we always are as strikers, but he's worked hard and, say, probably been quite frustrated this season, but to have someone like Will Grigg in front of him, he'll have learned a lot off him as well, so played his part of the season, as you said, Adam, and he can put his feet up and start to relax and enjoy the rest of the day and get ready for the presentation.
Yeah, just for people who might not be aware, because a lot of people had said to me that they didn't think Chesterfield would actually get presented with the trophy today, but I can confirm for definite they will get it today. It won't be their last home game of the season, as has tended to be tradition, but I guess when you win the league in March, well, make your own rules to a degree. Naylor, Nick Horton has got a goal for Fylde against Oxford City, which as it stands would relegate Oxford City. A free kick for Fylde, beautifully taken, but it would, if it stays that way, finally confirm Oxford City's relegation to National League South. But just above them, it is so tight, isn't it? I mean, look there at the gap between Woking and Dorking, 16th and 23rd, the gap's 6 points.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3 teams with a game in hand, and I guess that will be the message from the likes of Mark White and Luke. Look, we win that game and we can jump 4 or 5 places and put the pressure back on somebody else, but we lost 4 in a row now. It's looking like it's going to be difficult to pick these players up, and I've said it 2 or 3 times now, that is going to be the biggest thing for Luke and his staff, to pick these players up.
How much, as players, are you looking to the manager's body language, how they react after a setback, for them to lift you as a group? How important is the manager's role?
It's huge, and you can see Luke, he's looked a bit down, and that can have an effect on people around looking in. And like I say, the best managers, whether they've won or lost, they come in on a Monday, you couldn't tell. People like Sean Dyche, Owen Cole, I've worked for, on the Monday, smiles on the face, back to work. You know, evaluate the game, do you want to do, make training bright, do you bring in a few little games to make it fun, or do you have afternoon sessions? Whatever you think it is, to do the best to get that result following a defeat.
King. Banks. It's cleared by Cox. Jacobs. Didn't reach Berry. Game in Spain in the women's game, the Clásico between Real Madrid and the Spanish champions and European champions Barcelona. That's tomorrow from 5, TNT Sports 2. And in the Women's Champions League, Chelsea halfway there, aren't they? 3-0 up from the first leg in Amsterdam against Ajax this week. They meet again on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. That is on TNT Sports 1 and Discovery Plus. Emma Hayes looking to leave Chelsea, having won the Champions League with Chelsea for the first time. What a way to part company that would be. What a scoreline this is. Akinyemi has doubled York City's lead at Hayes Lane against a Bromley side seeking to finish either second or third to make sure of a semi-final space. But York, who started the day in the bottom 4, have gone 2 up, and that is a brilliant finish, isn't it, from Akinyemi?
That's a wonderful finish, isn't it? Locked the keeper edge of the box, and again, Luke Garrett gets on the coach, looks at the results. That's one that will hurt as well. Those wins, look at York away there, the lift that's going to give that group of players, the belief going into those final games as well. Everything's gone against them so far today.
back by Whelan to Ashmore. Sagaf. Payne. They could be in behind here. But the flag goes up. So Balanta coming on for the closing stages here. One of those who dropped out of the team from the loss against Altrincham. Had started 4 of the last 5. The party almost ready to begin. What a turnout it is here today as well. Chesterfield's highest home league attendance since they played Gillingham in May of 2011. That was 10,000 that day. It's just under that today, 9,907. But they've been put through the mill, haven't they, over the years? They're going to enjoy this.
They certainly will. They say they've done it in style, as they have done all season today. It was a tricky game with Shimanga.
Couldn't get his shot away, but almost got the ball back.
Everyone have enjoyed his return to Chesterfield. Shimanga being very well marshalled, and say Luke Garrard, he's got to find a way. I think he's just got to get his team 10-15 yards up the pitch. Dagenham at home next for them. That's a big game. Can they bounce back and get a result to get them out of those relegation spots?
Let's get Kevin's player of the match.
Yeah, I think there's a few. Mandeville would be up there, but Grimes, you can't not give it to Grimes. You know, clean sheet, 2 goals, led by example all season. He deserves it. A bit of blood on the nose as well. That just sums him up, really. He deserves his shot at the league. Jamie Grimes, a good professional, good honest defender. Well played.
He said he wished he'd played under Paul Cook when he was in his 20s rather than his 30s. Thinks he could have had a much better career. Was called up by the England C squad recently, but wasn't released, so wasn't able to play. It just was good recognition for him, wasn't it? And he's about to become the first Chesterfield captain to win a league title since Ian Evatt in 2014. The handshake has already happened between Paul Cook and Luke Garrard. The Woods problems mounting now on the brink of a 5th away game in a row at this level, losing a 5th away game in a row for the first time ever at this level. A minimum of 5 minutes added time. Horton. I wouldn't like to be those stewards right now. They've got an impossible task there, haven't they?
It's like scenes from Saltergate in the quarter-final FA Cup this, Adam. The crowd ready to come on and celebrate.
Happy memories for you and many who follow Chesterfield. Still think you were robbed?
We were. Let's not go there.
Whelan. Banks, could they finish with a flourish? Into touch it goes from Banks. Name is going to be quite literally on the trophy soon. For football supporters, there are a lot more down days and indifferent days than good days, aren't there? You've got to make the most of moments like this.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, Adam, these scenes, and say all the hard work of the season. The fans have backed them home and away. They deserve their moment, their time. start to enjoy the real rest of the season, then start looking forward to life back in the league, the EFL next season.
I know opinion will differ on how they'll do in League Two. I know a lot of people will highlight the goals conceded, but you look at the quality that's in this group, and so many of these players have already played in the Football League. A very fine manager who's won that league title twice. You'd think that they've got a good chance of kicking on again. Time will tell on that, but they're well placed.
Yeah, I think so. I think everything's set up for them. So they've got the stadium, the backing of the fans. More importantly, the quality of the players who seem happy working under the manager. So they'll go into next season full of momentum, confidence, used to winning football matches.
Oh, the keeper was off the line. What a way that would have been to finish it. Chesterfield go to York next. They host Kidderminster after that. Two sides fighting the drop. And Boreham Wood's fight against relegation sees them host Dagenham and Redbridge next, and then they go to Southend. Banks. A little joke with his former teammate there, Whelan. Luke Garrard is suggesting to his players to all come over to the near side of the pitch, mindful of the fact that there's, well, clearly going to be a pitch invasion here. It's not going to be able to be stopped, that. I can understand why they're saying that. They don't want any incident with any of their players. Let's hope everybody is sensible here. Can understand everybody wanting to celebrate. It's a big release of emotion, but promoted! Paul Cook's champions! A team that has thrilled its way to the National League title. Back to the Football League they go. It is a moment that means so much. The Spireites' 6-year exile is over. It is a triumph for persistence. The near misses, last year's most of all, have fueled their fire. And now this is the reward. A town that will celebrate long into the night, a club, a fan base with a lot to look forward to. Chesterfield are the National League champions of 2024.
Yeah, well deserved, Adam. Nobody can begrudge them this moment. They've been outstanding from start to finish, as early as in end of March, so they deserve everything.
Tonight,
as a group,
Matthew, we're going to be...
as a management team, ownership, they've done it right, they've done it in the right way, and they deserve this moment. They really will enjoy tonight. Jamie Grimes there has epitomised them, led them, and it's all come from hard work and the quality, obviously, of the players that they have as well, yes. But as a club, they've done it in the right way, and enjoy the night, boys.
2 goals for the captain, Grimes, who certainly has led by example this season. Another one for Mandeville, another player who's been absolutely outstanding for them this season. 7 goals, 19 assists, and Chesterfield have done it. They are promoted back to the Football League with plenty of time to spare, Matt.